Welcome back. I'm Alaina. How can a business overcome obstacles? By the end of this video, you'll know how to power through any obstacle in your business, so stay tuned. First, we're going to uncover what your obstacles are and why they're happening in the first place. Next, I'll give you a tool to know exactly if your strategies are aligned with you or not. And if you only did this one thing, how you'd have any question you needed answered in your business answered. Then I'll show you how to shift your mindset so you can start achieving the success and abundance that you desire. Next, what you could be doing with your team to overcome your business obstacles. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do to take your business to the next level. So let's dive right in. Okay, so initially when obstacles come up in our business, what happens is that we start making up all kinds of meanings and stories about what's really happening. It isn't the thing that's happening, it isn't the problem or the obstacle, but it's the meaning that we're making up about the obstacle. And oftentimes we even start taking it personally. So let's say, for example, you have a plan, you start taking action, and then all of a sudden you don't get the result you want. Or even it seems like, let's say, for example, you were doing a launch and you got crickets instead of clients out of the launch. Now you start taking it personally and start making it mean subconsciously, you may not even be aware of this, that you're a failure, right? It's not just that this result didn't work, but just that you're a failure. The key is to stay out of taking it personally, stay out of making a meaning, and get to the root of why it didn't work. Now, my experience is a lot of the reason that things don't work in our business is because of what's going on in the 5 inches between our ears. Once I have my clients clear those 5 inches, all of a sudden, it's things that didn't work before start working so easily. So you have to get to the root and understand, why didn't this work? Maybe it might be something like your messaging is off. It's not landing for your client. Like there was a period of time where I had switched my client from people who were trying to get to 6 figures to people who were way past 6 figures. And when I made that initial leap, and even though I thought I had changed my messaging, I was really still talking to the people who were trying to get to 6 figures. And I didn't understand that my messaging was off. It wasn't landing for the kinds of clients that I wanted. And if I had taken that personally and just thought it wasn't going to work, it was never going to work, I would not have been able to get to the root of why it didn't work and actually fix the problem so my messaging could start landing for my ideal clients. So as I was talking about, there's probably some underlying limiting beliefs and patterns that are going on that are causing the same pattern over and over and over again. So if you start to notice there's a pattern here that's going on, and I used to call it like dating a guy, and all of a sudden you'd be kind of dating the same guy all the time, and it's like same guy, different face. If you're having that kind of experience in your business with obstacles, it is definitely a limiting belief that's causing it, and learning how to clear it and get to the root of it to make sure that you clear it so it's no longer hampering you moving forward in a different way is essential. So how do you know if your strategy is actually aligned with your business? I can tell you that when I was struggling in my business, I had made over 6 figures in 7 months in my first year of coaching, and then I proceeded to self-sabotage it and crash and burn for like 2.5 years. And in that 2.5 years, as I was on the struggle bus, I literally had found, through loans, $150,000 over the course of 4 years I spent on strategies to get me out of the stuck that I was in. And you know the results I got from that? Zero results from that, because it wasn't the strategies that were the problem. It was this that was the problem. And I wasn't doing strategies that were actually aligned with me in the first place. And once I learned how to tune into my intuition on demand and tune into the energy of my business, now I stay aligned with my strategies and I have so much more success as a result. And if there's any kind of downturn in my business, I always go back to here, because it's never out there. It's always in here, but now I make sure that my strategies stay aligned. Now, if you don't know how to tune into your intuition on demand, there's a question that you can ask when you feel into it. You have to make sure you're in a clear space, that your ego isn't kicking up at the time, because your ego will try to stop you from doing something that is out of your comfort zone. But the question is, does it feel like it expands me, or does it feel like it contracts me? So if you meditate, for example, and in your meditation, you ask about a particular strategy and you just notice what the feeling is. Does it expand you or does it contract you? It will give you a really good idea of whether or not you're aligned with the strategy in your business. Now, as I said, I use my intuition. The seat of my intuition is my higher self. You can call it, I call it the higher self. You can call it your true self, your essence, your inner being, your soul, your superconscious mind. It is this all-knowing, infinite part of us. And it already knows, it's tapped into every thought that's ever been thought or ever shall be thought. Everything is present, every thought that we could ever think or in the future, in the past, all exists in the now. And your higher self has the capacity to be able to tap into that, to understand how to support you. Whatever question you have that you want to ask about your life and your business, your higher self can give you that answer. So when you learn how to tap into your higher self, when you learn how to get that intuitive guidance, you'll know exactly what to do, what action to take, and what strategy to use, and you'll know it easily. And the other thing that happens when you tap into that energy and you start following the guidance of your higher self is all of a sudden you start seeing opportunities that you didn't see before. They were there all along. One of my favorite things that my clients say to me is, that opportunity came out of nowhere. And it just cracks me up because I could see where the opportunity is, but based on the vibration of where they started, and then they were able to raise their vibration through tuning into their intuition and higher self, now they see opportunities that were there all along. And that is possible for you too. So I love to help clients and people slay their obstacles in their business, create a business around their purpose with ease, and be able to scale it, quantum leaping, scaling their business. And I love to put out videos that will give you hot tips on how to do just that. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on my latest content. Now, one of the things that I see that people do that moves them, well, there's two things, but they're related to each other, that moves them in the opposite direction of their obstacles. Like if you are so focused on the problem, you can't see the solution. So the key is to focus on the solution for the problem rather than on the problem itself. Understanding why the problem happened, yes, but not focusing on the problem, focusing on the solution, focusing on what is working is key to move you from obstacles and help you tap into higher levels of intelligence, creativity, inspiration, and ideas. So being able to focus on what actually is working will allow you to move from the obstacle you're experiencing. It will actually allow you to stop experiencing so many obstacles in the first place, because what we focus on grows. And the more energy we put on focusing on what isn't working, the more experiences we have that don't work for us. And so the key is to actually focus on what is working. That way you'll experience less obstacles in the first place. And it will help you solve the obstacles you have. One of the keys is to enlist your team. Your team has a different perspective than you do on what the obstacle is. When you enlist your team in problem solving, it allows them to bring their own creativity, inspiration, and ideas to the problem to help solve it from a different way. And problems get solved so much faster that way. So trust your team to be able to help you problem solve and run that past it and ask for feedback and guidance, and make sure you really stay open, ask open-ended questions, and really listen and incorporate that feedback and guidance so your team knows that you are open to receiving what they have to offer. Now, here's when you have obstacles, what's the fastest way through them? Get support, right? Find a coach and a mentor that's been where you are already, that knows how to help you get through those obstacles and can help you, again, quantum leap past them to achieve next level success. So make sure that you find the right support that's a good fit for you. And I have to say, when I talked about spending money, the $150,000 on all of those strategies that didn't work, that got me zero results, I also spent some of that money on coaches that weren't aligned with me either. But it sounded shiny to me. It sounded like they could help solve my problem, but they weren't aligned with me. And now I don't spend any money on anything that isn't in my highest good, because I can tap in and I can ask, is it in my highest good to work with this person? And then I know for sure that I am going to get the value that that person has to offer. So get support. Are you tired of feeling like a doormat? If you want to take your business to the next level, you have to start putting yourself first. So check out this video on how to stop being a people pleaser, and I'll show you exactly how to do just that. Thanks, I'm Alaina, and I'll see you on the next video.